it was two guys that were very familiar with each other. Oh, look,
Right,
people are screaming for you.
well, it was Economides came into the game with the number one ranked defense in that District 31 6A. But Weslaco is Weslaco, and they've been doing what they've been doing all season long, racking up big yards. And Weslaco, they have the big play. They have that capability of making the big play. Brian Guerra had a 57-yard touchdown, and then Major Harris had a 72 yard touchdown run. And, you can contain them for only so long. And that's what the Jaguars are doing. They're kind of holding them in check. Weslaco would move the ball down, get first downs, and then, boom, all of a sudden they break open the big one. They won 28-0, but, it could have been a lot worse. I think Weslaco maybe was saving some of their plays or saving themselves for next week, or this week, I should say, for this coming Friday against Weslaco East, because that's where they're going to have the big clash between Weslaco East and Weslaco. But, yeah, it was a good game. I think the Jaguars actually have a pretty good team. I think they were just overmatched against Weslaco. Weslaco just has so much talent, so much team speed offensively and defensively. And but the Jaguars played a solid game. They didn't make a lot of mistakes or anything like that.
Okay, I'm going to put this one on you because I think it's a tough question for you. Who do you got next week, when Weslaco and Weslaco East face? Because, I know that, you know a lot of the staff on both teams. Where do you see this?
So you want me to upset my friends on both sides of the ball?
Pretty much, yeah.
I live in Weslaco, so, I know all the coaches, so I'm going to upset someone and then, not get invited to all the parties is what you're saying if I pick one team over the other.
Yeah,
what's going to happen is we're going to have a sold out 15,000 seat stadium. Is what we're going to have to. No, I can analyze that game. It's going to be if Weslaco East comes out and plays kind of the way Harlingen played. Control the ball and kind of just move down the field. And Weslaco East has to come out and be able to pass the ball. If they're going to come out and just run because that's what they do best. And I think the same thing on the other side with Weslaco. They're going to have to pass a little bit. They're going to have to mix it up. Because both these defenses are going to come in there and they're going to put, 9 in the box right there and say, hey, you're not going to pass it. I'm going to come here and stop the run. So I think that's what we're going to see a lot of. Ever since I was at Channel 4, I don't make predictions because, I don't feel like, I'm the prognosticator of all time. I don't really like picking games, Jake. I don't like picking who's going to win, but I think it's just going to be a good game, and it's a coin flip. I can say Weslaco East is going to win. I can say Weslaco is going to win, but you just don't know. This is one of those games where they're so evenly matched. They both have senior players on both teams. They both have good defense. They both have good offenses. They both have good special teams. What has changed from last year to this year, I think, is that Weslaco East now has a little bit they have a passing game. It's not a streak down the field Sherryland or Mercedes or Mission Vets type of run and shoot type of passing game, but they certainly do have a passing game that they can go to with their quarterback Lefevre, big old 6'4", 6'5" guy who can throw the football. But they're just implementing it. They've only been doing it this year. They did a little bit of it last year. I know they practiced it, but I think that can be the difference. That can help out a lot in that if they have to pass, they have to go deep. They've already been running that a little bit throughout the season.
Now, who do you think's more prepared for this game? Because playing Weslaco East played Edinburgh last night. It was almost like a practice. I don't want to be mean to Edinburgh, but they're just a very dominant team compared to Edinburgh. Economides was supposed to be a better team than Edinburgh. They beat Edinburgh, but who do you think's more prepared for this game?
That's a good question. That's an excellent question. I don't think you really need to say anything when you walk into that locker room today, Saturday, or you walk into the locker room on Monday and start preparing. I don't think you have to say anything. 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes after the game, got on my Facebook, got on social media, and there was already somebody posting something about a Weslaco High. It was a Weslaco East fan, saying "beat high." They're already talking trash, man. They're already talking trash on social media. So I think they're both coming in. They're both healthy. Weslaco East is healthy, and Weslaco High, they're both very healthy. They both have all their backs ready to go. So I think, as far as, who's more prepared, I think they're both prepared. This is the time of the season where you're playing your best football. If you don't have it by now, you're not going to have it, man. If you don't have your running back doing the things, you don't have your linemen doing their thing, that they're supposed to do, then you just don't have the capability of doing what you want to do. Because I think they're both ready to go, and I think they're both well prepared. Which one is more prepared than the other? It's really hard to tell, Jake. I mean, when you win, what was that, 64-7 or something like that?
Yeah, it was a close.
Wow.
Yeah,
and it was. I mean, that one was over with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. It was 35-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
So Weslaco is definitely running on all cylinders, Weslaco East, and so is Weslaco High. The thing that really impresses me about Weslaco High is the way they've brought in Major Free into the running game this year. He kind of started off slow. He's one of those guys that has a lot of raw talent. He's just give him the ball, man. He's one of those guys you give him the ball and he can break tackles. He's more your type of guy, straightaway runner. You give him the ball and there's a huge lane. He's got so much speed that he's going to be out of that. He's going to be out of there in a hurry. He's going to be past that first surge, second surge, and up to that third ladder, in a hurry. So he might be the X factor when it comes to Weslaco High, is Major Free, because he's about 6'3". Don't think he played much last year, if he did at all, with Weslaco. But he had that big long run, longest run of the year for him, that 72-yarder against Edinburgh Economides. They get him going, which is what Weslaco does. They got everybody. They got Coronado, they got Eric Gonzalez, they got Brian Guerra, and they got Major Free, and there's still a couple of other guys that I'm not even naming. Luciel Gonzalez, another running back. So they got an array of running backs that they like to give the ball to. So it's going to be a fantastic game, and I wish I could be there, but I know you're going to be there.
Yeah, and one of the games last night that we were going to send Kevin to, and then we kind of switched it at the last moment, was Edcal Chelsea and Pace. We kind of thought that was going to be a dog game, and we were wrong on that game, because Pace came out and surprised Edcal Chelsea.
Right.
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
Yeah, I was getting updates from one of our interns who was at the game, and she was sending me the updates, and she was 14-7, and then it was 14-14. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, Pace hadn't won they've won only one game all season long. So I'm really not sure what's going on over there, what happened over there at Edcal Chelsea. I know there was a lot of injuries. I know Andrew Segura last week didn't play against with the PSJ Southwest the previous week. I know he didn't play. He was knocked out, in that first quarter, but he played last night. He was actually crowned homecoming king. But Pace came in. They hit a 42-yarder to win the game. Yeah. There was still time left on the clock for Edcal Chelsea to try to come and score, but they only got to the 50, and that's where it ended. So yeah, a bit of a surprise. Pace, had only won one game. They lost to Donna North last week, which hadn't won a game either. So it's one of those deals. Any given Friday, anything can happen. But we'll have to talk to the coaches a little bit and see what happened in that game, before moving forward on what happened, because man, that was definitely the upset of the week.
Yeah, it was an incredible game. I mean, you were at the Mercedes game on Thursday, and that wasn't a very surprising game.
No, not at all. Mercedes came out and do what they do best, and it was 21-0 just in the first quarter. Isaac Vela, I'm real proud of Isaac Vela. For he put it on social media, man. He was ready to leave the team and stuff like that. Poor kid, they get caught up in this stuff, and now with social media, they're able to do all that. I wish the kids wouldn't do that, but he wanted to leave the team, but he came back, and now he's kind of the leading rusher right now. And the reason why is because Fabian Ledesma is dealing with a little injury right now. He's got an ankle sprain. He's still trying to get over. He's a sophomore running back. Had never ever had a injury before, and so he's trying to deal with that. And so Isaac Vela was their leading rusher. Zach Gomez really has come around. I think maybe Zach Gomez, and watching him play in that first game against Cal Allen, didn't look very comfortable, to be quite honest with you. He's a heck of a player, but, playing big-time varsity football, playing against Cal Allen, University of Cal Allen, and then going up against those guys, he didn't look very comfortable. Now he looks so comfortable back there. If he doesn't see anything that's open, I don't know if they pulled the reins off of him or they told him just take off and run or try to, improvise on the fly. That's what he's been doing. They've kind of just given him a little bit more leeway to do some stuff on his own. and Zach Gomez is talking about the sophomore quarterback. He's really been the difference in making the Mercedes Tigers roll. He's awesome. Brandon Gutierrez, of course, is doing very, very well. And I'm not sure if you got the playoff scenarios down, Jake. I was going to text the coach Adame here to find out the playoff scenarios. There was a scenario there where they could have played against Sharyland. I don't think that's going to happen now. I think they might be playing Pioneer. Is Pioneer still in the
No, they're out now. It's going to be Roma. Well, I think they are. We just had Max Habecker on, and he was talking about the scenarios. Kevin, who did he say?
I think he was looking at either Ed Chelsea or Mercedes potentially.
Okay.
Sharyland needed a win or a loss or something like that in the final week for it to be either Ed Couch or Mercedes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Mercedes still, I don't know if you all have talked about Donna yet, but Donna, they're going to play Ed Chelsea next week, and Ed Chelsea still. Remember, Ed Chelsea had only lost one game all season long before they lost to Mercedes and before they lost to Pace.
Yeah, 2 field goals.
One game, and they lost to. Yeah, I know. and they lost to Los Fresnos, man. So a very good team. So, who knows what's going to happen next week between Donna and Ed Chelsea? I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I don't know where that game's going to take place. But the situation there: Mercedes wins and Ed Chelsea wins, and Donna Mercedes grabs a share of the district championship. But who knows what's going to happen? Donna, they're going to come in there. They're going to run tremendous football with Amani Bowen and Edward Doherty. They're going to run the ball with those two guys, the quarterback and the running back. And so that's going to be a real good game. I know that Kevin Otto's going to ask me to go to that game to cover it.
Yeah. Here's the funniest thing is the 2 best games next week are going to be the 2 fastest games to go to. Because Weslaco and Weslaco East, they're going to run the ball. You're going to be out of there by 10 o'clock. And Donna Ed Couch, they're going to run the ball. Even though Gene's there now and Gene's passing the ball more, they're going to be 2 pretty fast games.
Yeah, that game's at Ed Couch also, by the way. So.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's gonna. You're exactly right.
So,
but they were doing a really good job. I think Ed Couch also was passing the ball pretty well there. Before this week, they were doing a good job with Andrew Seguda there at quarterback. So, yeah, we're gonna have to find out what happened over there in Ed Couch. Also, there's got to be some injuries or something because to lose to Pace like that is really a shocker.
Especially when you're up. It's not like they had to come from behind and it fell short. They were up. Yeah. And Ed Couch's defense usually never does that.
Right. And one of the things also I know that in following Ed Couch is that they were turning the ball over a lot as well. They would, they'd win these games, and Coach Marichelada said, "Yeah, we won the game, Carlos, but we had 3 turnovers, we had 3 fumbles." So I don't know if that was the situation last night. Because if there was a lot of turnovers, that's the big equalizer right there. When you give the offense a chance to make some extra to get the ball there.
Well, it's going to be interesting next week. I mean, we'll have to see. You'll be back in studio, right, next weekend?
I will be there. Yes, sir. I'm in for the final game of the season and the playoffs. I'll be in studio.
Okay. So
thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'm trying to be a good dad and watch my son play. I'm here right now at Central Middle School watching him play against the Tigers, and these Mercedes Tigers are running the spread offense, man, even at the middle school level. And they're so here goes Wesco trying to run their slot T against them, but touchdown Mercedes Junior High. They just scored.
What's the score? What's the score right now?
It's 6-0. They just scored right now, first play of the game.
Oh wow!
So there's a little play-by-play for the junior high there.
Okay, there's a plug for them right there.
It just goes to the whole. You start from the bottom and you work your way up, and this is a 7th grade team running the spread offense, and they do it pretty well. Does Mercedes, and they got some big boys also here at the 7th grade level. So Mercedes has something to look forward to in the coming years. I'm sure all the fans know that.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, we'll get back together next week. Well, I'm going to probably text you after this, anyways. But it'll be interesting having you back in the studio because right now I feel like Trevor Noah after he took over for Jon Stewart on the Daily Show. I just I need you here, but because somebody has to host this thing.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job, Jake. Keep it up.
Keep the jokes to a minimum, and you'll be okay. Oh shoot. Okay. But all right, hey, I appreciate it.
I know that's all you got. A joke.
I know that's it. Hey, but we're going to have Mike Burgett on after the break. We're going to come back from the break. But Carlos, thanks for joining us today, and I'll get back with you later this afternoon.
All right, thanks a lot, Jake.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah.
Carlos Robledo from 956 Sports, my business partner. You know what? There's not a guy. I mean, he was